Welcome to part 2 of today's gyroscope. Proof: we do not live on a spherical Earth. Here is our spherical Earth, and I've marked certain things on. Here is our equator. Here is our northern hemisphere, North Pole. Here is our southern hemisphere with the 90th parallel, because there is no independent travel other than military or scientific below the 90th parallel. That's fact. Boom. So here's our spherical Earth. Now, let's talk about what they want you to believe. They want you to believe that a gyroscope, we all know what gyroscopes do. They spin. They want you to believe that if you are traveling from the northern hemisphere to the southern hemisphere, that gravity will leave a gyroscope continuously spinning as it passes across the equator, which defies the actions of the gyroscope. Like I said, the purpose of a gyroscope is to stay upright in this position. If they do not stay in this position, every airplane crashes. This is what is inside and what determines the artificial horizon of airplanes. Like I said, the most important instrument in the airplane to the pilot, the one he must pay the most attention to. Why? Because he will either elevate and fly too high or dip down and crash into the ground. But they have a cruising altitude, which is a set number, a set altitude when they're cruising. That's why it's called a cruising altitude. I'll say it again. They want you to believe that if you're on a plane coming from the northern hemisphere and you're traveling around a spherical world, that gravity will manipulate the gyroscope to stay in this position. When a gyroscope is made to stay in this position, what would happen to an airplane traveling to the equator and beyond the equator with the gyroscope upright, the way it is supposed to be? The artificial horizon, the instrument, would tell the pilot that the ground is getting further away from him as he went around the curve, if it stayed upright. But they want you to believe that it travels with the direction of the surface, which is preposterous. And we're about to prove this today. I brought instruments to prove this today. This is part 2. I need to pause it to do part 3. But just remember what I just told you about the spherical Earth and the position that a gyroscope needs to stay in to work, which is upright. See you in part 3.